This afternoon, Green Bay and Packers officials share an update after the city was chosen to host the 2025 NFL Draft. And tonight, Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis will officially announce his 2024 presidential run. This is News 3 now at noon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for joining us today. Officials are still investigating what caused a fire to break out in the auditorium at Fort Atkinson High School. The fire started on stage around 6:30 last night, soon after a fifth grade band concert. Curtains on the stage were damaged and the auditorium was filled with smoke. No one was hurt, but classes were canceled today while officials work to ventilate the room. Now to Columbus, where a fire destroyed a barn. Firefighters were called to the property on State Highway 1660 around 5 o'clock last night. When they arrived, the barn was engulfed in flames. No animals were inside at the time, but a nearby home was damaged. A firefighter was taken to the hospital for evaluation, but is now back home. Crews say the fire was caused by embers from an earlier controlled burn. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Greg Barnhart is looking at the forecast. Like controlled burn is not a good idea these days.
Not today with the wind blowing, but otherwise, no, it wouldn't be a good day, especially how dry it is right now. But we do have a little cold front that went through this morning, so we're seeing a little bit more in the increase in cloud cover, and you notice the winds outside out of the northeast, too. That's going to be the change today for a few days, so temperatures won't be as warm. Bigger picture shows the clouds up to the north beginning to push further southeast, so increasing clouds is what to expect this afternoon, along with that northeast wind continue. No precipitation expected with this. All of it's remaining to the north, so we should stay dry throughout the afternoon, but just notice the change. So far, you can see the temperatures around 70 or low 70s. It's probably as far as we're going to be for this afternoon for southwest Wisconsin. As you go further east, that wind coming off the lake is going to keep temperatures probably in the 60s for today and likely tomorrow as that wind continues that direction. Overall, you're going to see 10 to 20 mile per hour winds here with occasional gusts higher out of the northeast, so it will feel cooler than we've had recently. The good news is it won't last too long. There's your temperatures. We're going to kind of fall back into the 60s with that northeast wind, quite breezy until we get to this evening, and then it should start tapering off overnight. As we look at precipitation, something to note, we haven't seen much in the way of monthly precipitation. We are running about 2 inches below normal for Madison. Year, we're pretty close to where we should be, but I'll break down if we'll see any precipitation next week and whether we might see 90 by the time we get to this time next week.
All right, we'll check back, Greg. Thank you. Flags across Texas are flying at half-staff today as the state marks 1 year since the deadly mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed when a gunman opened fire inside a classroom. The state held a moment of silence at 11:30 this morning in honor of the victims, survivors, families, and community. Questions remain about why it took 376 law enforcement officers from more than 20 agencies 77 minutes to subdue the gunman.
There were officers in there that could have ended it, but were told to stand down, and they listened.
Robb Elementary will be demolished at some point, pending a court order. CBS News reached out to the district attorney, who says the investigation is still in the hands of the Texas Rangers. Once she receives the findings, she'll determine whether to recommend any criminal charges to a grand jury. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis plans to officially launch his candidacy for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination tonight during a live appearance on Twitter. DeSantis will join an increasingly crowded field on the Republican side, which is currently dominated by former President Trump. Allies say he'll play up his combative politics, casting himself as a fellow cultural warrior on a platform his biggest rival embraced as president.
We're proud of what we've accomplished in Florida, but I can tell you this, I have only begun to fight.
DeSantis has come under criticism even from some in his own party over a 6-week abortion ban he signed into law. And the NAACP has issued a travel advisory for Florida, warning recent legislation is openly hostile toward African Americans. The most recent CBS News poll shows Governor DeSantis trailing former President Trump by more than 30 points among likely Republican primary voters. Meanwhile, CNN has announced it will host a town hall with Republican candidate Nikki Haley. It will be held live in Iowa on Sunday, June 4th at 7 p.m. CNN anchor and chief Washington correspondent Jake Tapper will moderate the event. This will be a second in a series of CNN Republican presidential town halls for the 2024 cycle. The June 1st deadline to raise the debt ceiling is approaching fast. But the White House and House Republicans are still not anywhere near a deal that would avoid the first default in our nation's history. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
With time running out to reach a debt ceiling deal, negotiators returned to Capitol Hill this morning.
Here we are, 8 days away. Why are we here? The Democrats do not want to come off their spending addiction.
The White House has offered to cap spending at current budget levels for the next 2 years, but Republicans say that's not enough savings.
You're spending more than you've ever done. You've got more revenue than ever coming. And I don't understand where Democrats think they can't find $1 to cut.
Democrats say proposed GOP cuts go too far.
The Republicans in the House want to cut billions and billions of dollars in a way that would hurt public safety, hurt teachers, hurt health care, hurt nutrition, and hurt veterans.
The Treasury Secretary continues to warn June 1st is when the U.S. runs out of money to pay its bills. But some lawmakers have questioned that timeline.
Well, we'd like to see more transparency on how they come to that date.
Even as both sides seem far apart, the White House remains optimistic an agreement will be reached in time. But lawmakers need a bill written by this weekend in order to avoid an historic default. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And lawmakers say they are still planning to go home for the Memorial Day weekend, but House Speaker McCarthy has told his members they need to be able to get back to the Capitol within 24 hours. Well, officials for the Green Bay Packers and Green Bay leaders say plans are already underway for the 2025 NFL Draft. The city was selected to host the league's biggest offseason event on Monday. Packer president and CEO Mark Murphy says he expects around 250,000 people to visit over draft weekend. There have been discussions about Amtrak adding rail service from Milwaukee, and provided that the ice on Lake Michigan is melted, cruise ships may bring fans to Green Bay. As for that possibility, that it snows.
So Peter O'Reilly from the league, he and I were talking. I said, Peter, what if it snows? He goes, that would be great.
The Packer organization expects the draft to make a $94 million economic impact on the state of Wisconsin. The NFL is expected to make its first on-site visit next month. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon, including more legal headaches for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and Krispy Kreme offering a sweet treat for the class of 2023. That's all next in the Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale going on now at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
This is Matt Gunderson. We recently celebrated the life of Margaret, who never let a cookie jar run empty. Her service was cookie-themed, with everyone enjoying her tasty treats. Allow us to personalize every detail of a life well lived.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to Power Swabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. Power Swabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
My favorite thing about the Power Swabs is that I was actually able to take the swab and really get through some of those areas that are kind of like untreated. I felt like I can immediately see the results, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely starting to see the shades getting brighter and brighter, or whiter and whiter.
If you have yellowing between your teeth, if you have coffee or tea stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And in each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution.
Well, they're whiter, they're brighter, and I feel better about my smile. And it was so easy to do.
One friend was like, your teeth look like really white. Did you do anything to it? And I was like, I did. I did Power Swabs.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This Memorial Day, order Power Swabs and receive up to 50% off the retail price. And as an added bonus, get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 50% off and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has issued a strong warning on the negative effects of social media on teens' mental health and is urging lawmakers and tech companies to come up with new guidelines to protect minors. Murthy is also urging parents to enact tech-free zones and create a family plan to restrict social media use. Earlier this month, Montana became the first state to ban TikTok, which is set to take effect in 2024, though the company's CEO has filed a lawsuit to invalidate that law. More legal headaches for Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. An Orlando restaurant is suing him and the state over a new law that aims to ban minors from attending drag show performances. Businesses found in violation could lose their liquor licenses and have to pay hefty fines. Hamburger Mary's, a bar and restaurant in Orlando, claims the law violates its First Amendment right of free expression. And attention high school and college seniors. You can get a dozen glazed donuts for free today at your local Krispy Kreme if you wear your cap and gown or other class of 2023 swag to a participating location. The sweet treats will come wrapped in a special dough ploma box while supplies last. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Checking Wall Street at the noon hour, the Dow Industrial is down 259 points. The NASDAQ down 120. The S&P 500 down almost 40. Our call for action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can call for action right now at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's egg prices along with Greg's complete forecast. And then today on Live at 4, due in part to the mild winter, scientists are watching to see if there will be an uptick in ticks this year. That's coming up at 4.
The biggest Memorial Day savings are happening for 72 hours only at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Save up to 30% on all Maytag major appliances. Freezers start at $4 a month. Dishwashers start at $17 a month at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Keep your home's exterior protected with our great selection of exterior siding. Each piece of double 4-inch siding covers more than 8 square feet. Cedar Creek vinyl siding panels are $4.99 each after rebate. No dig, multi-purpose fence panels are easy to install. Just lay out your panels and hammer the posts into the ground and your fence is complete. No dig fence panels are $10.99 each after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
The Memorial Day 72-hour sale is Saturday through Monday with a preview day Friday at Ashley. Get outdoor furniture starting at $4 per month, sofas starting at $6 per month, and so much more with 6-year special financing store-wide, only at Ashley.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, Jesse Tyler Ferguson is a great sport.
Jennifer was like, you know I always win, right? And then she's like, and we're back. I was like, okay.
Plus, Love and Death's Lily Ray.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
Tomorrow, Badger football celebrates 100 days to kickoff with a scavenger hunt, and Josh is following the fun.
Plus, we have your next chance to win a First Warn weather umbrella.
And after a couple of cool days, we do have a big warm-up going into next week, tomorrow between 4:30 and 7.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report on this refreshing Wednesday.
That's right. It is refreshing. It was nice and cool this morning. The weather was with us last week. I was away from the TV for a day and following a group of Japanese visitors that were in Wisconsin, representing white linen restaurants in Tokyo and grocery stores. I thought I'd share some pictures with you about that visit. It was a perfect example of monies that came to us through the Wisconsin Ag Export Council. That's kind of group that was organized by the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture. The funding was granted from our state senators and assemblymen and basically allowed for these Tokyo visitors to learn more about Wisconsin's beef industry. They were particularly curious about cow beef, as they call it. Now, what I learned is the Japanese palate is slightly different than here in the United States. Some of the cuts that they most looked for are cuts that we don't use much at all here in the United States. Things like tongue, tripe, intestines. That is something that they look for in grocery stores in Tokyo. So these folks got a chance to visit not only beef producers like Jerry Huth, as well as dairy producers like the Ebert family up by Algoma that also raise beef on the side. They also met some of our great Wisconsin meat processors and found out how they handle our beef after it leaves the farm gate. So really from beginning to end, they learned about Wisconsin's beef industry, and they are interested in cow beef. So we'll see if it transpires into sales. But that's an example of that Wisconsin Ag Export Council and the work that it does. The Wisconsin Beef Council brought those folks in courtesy of a grant from the Wisconsin Ag Export Council. So like I said, just giving you a sense of how that money is turning into, hopefully, sales. Well, I was trying to be hopeful about the markets, but I'm afraid on the midday our markets are definitely trending lower like Wall Street. We had opened the morning session double digits higher, but the enthusiasm for both corn, beans, and wheat has faded. Dairy markets are also suffering some setbacks again today. The barrel cheese on Wednesday unchanged at $151.5. 40-pound block cheese suffered a big setback, down 7.5, just about the time I thought that it was getting healthy again. 157 3/4, and AA butter today unchanged, 243 3/4 per pound. I understand that I'm going to be sitting next to you later this afternoon for a little conversation live at 4. And believe me, Mark, with the way that this weather is changing, we will not have a lack of topics to discuss when I come on over later this afternoon.
I think we'll have a lot to talk about. Looking forward to it. We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
All right.
Thanks, Pam. Students from all over the world are immersing themselves in the metaverse, trading traditional lessons for virtual ones. Britain has launched its first virtual reality classroom, as CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
Putting your thinking cap on in this classroom means strapping on a virtual headset, a window into the digital world where anything can happen.
That Saturn is way too big. Needs to come back down, please.
From exploring the planets to visiting world-renowned museums.
There's a deeper understanding because they can manipulate an object, they can see it from all sides, they can see how it works.
These British students log into their metaverse school, connecting them with classmates from around the world.
The Metaverse School is a digital twin, an exact copy of this building in virtual reality that brings together students from all around the world to be taught in virtual reality. So 84 different schools in 24 different countries.
Using VR, not the magic school bus, they can shrink down to investigate the human body.
Up closer to you.
It was really cool how I got to put the heart in a different place, because if you were in a normal classroom, you can't do that.
Some of the most impressive things we can do are science experiments that would otherwise be impossible or too dangerous to do in a classroom.
The technology can also help the past come alive.
We've used it in history to go back in time, experience things like World War II from the ground.
By bringing lessons to life, teachers say students learn more while literally reaching for the stars. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And get this, research shows that people who learn through virtual reality are 150% more engaged. That's according to findings published last year from accountancy firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. Some cooler temperatures today. Let's check back in with Greg for a complete forecast.
Yeah, we're going to have cooler temperatures. Unfortunately, the precipitation is going to be lacking, and probably for the next couple weeks through middle June. It does look dry. Right now, the drought monitor doesn't indicate that. This is will be updated here in a few days for this week. Still, the dry conditions are through Iowa, but I expect that to change as we have been fairly dry through the month of May for the most part. As we look at really the precipitation for the last 45 days, we're seeing the temperature-wise, pretty much we've been warm to above average of going back to April of 12. But the one thing notice too, as you look at the precipitation, is minus that we had 5300ths and 16th and 5300ths we had on a little over a half inch on the 8th. Minus that, most of the month of May has been fairly dry. In fact, once again, we're about 2 inches below what we should be. Unfortunately, we're not going to see much precipitation over the next 7 to 10 days. Mostly smoky, hazy skies. There's a slight chance we might see a shower or storm by the end of next week, but that's pretty minimum right now. Otherwise, temperatures, we cool off today, maybe some 30s even tomorrow morning, something to keep in, Friday morning, something to keep in mind of with that. Otherwise, we're coming back to the 80s, and I think we might see some 90s approach next week. Overall, today with that northeast wind, we're going to see increasing clouds this afternoon. We'll see the temperatures slowly decrease into the 60s this evening. We'll keep these cloud covers overnight, so that should allow the temperatures not to drop off too much. But I think by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll still be in the 40s. Then we'll see tomorrow more northeast winds, southeast winds will continue. Our temperatures as we get into the afternoon hours are not going to be expected to rise much more until you get to the upper 60s, mid 60s for most areas. So definitely a cooler day tomorrow. Cloud cover, not so much. We'll see that kind of dissipate in the morning. So we'll have plenty of sunshine in the afternoon, but it just won't amount to too much with the cloud cover that's going on. Excuse me, the temperatures. Overall, as we go into Thursday night, that's when we really start seeing the temperatures fall off, and that's where the concern could be coming in towards Friday morning as we dip back into the upper 30s in some areas. We even could see mid 30s up to the north. So something to keep in mind if you have plants out there, that might be a night to cover it up just because of we will get fairly close. Once we get to Friday afternoon, everything looks good big picture wise, shows all the precipitation stays to the east. We have high pressure that kind of settles overhead for Friday. This will be the main factor we'll be watching for the whole entire week going into Memorial Day weekend into next week, that it's not going to budge, so all the unsettled weather should stay well to the west or north or south. We're going to have high pressure overhead too. Big picture shows that overall storm track by next week, well to the north, well to the south, and we're kind of in between, so ridge and high pressure. So this really looks like to hold off to at least through middle of next week. Maybe a slight chance by the time we get to Thursday or Friday of next week, but even that doesn't look impressive. So once again, a dry pattern we're going to see, and something to be concerned of as the soil will start getting a little bit drier each day. And that kind of reflects on the 10-day. We'll see upper 60s tomorrow, plenty of sunshine through Memorial Day weekend, so it'll be dry, no issues there. We'll get back up to about 80 by Sunday. And then next week, I think by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday, some areas will approach 90 or get to 90, which last year we were May 10th, we hit 90. So this year it'll be later, but average date of 90 is usually about the end of June. So it's a good forecast for drying conditions. Unfortunately for farming, it's not great for crops to be in the ground right now.
Absolutely not. All right, we'll keep an eye on things. Thank you, Greg. Up next, we'll see what Howard is working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When fresh corn on the cob is at its peak, we have a recipe that'll turn it into liquid gold. It's easy, so stick around and I'll show you.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes, and as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm, please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
This Memorial Day is the best time to try Plexiderm at our startup price of only $14.95. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
It won't be too long before our markets are bursting with fresh corn on the cob. And that means we'll be finding it at some of the best prices of the year. So here's an idea. Pick up a few extra ears so you can try the chilled soup that we just came up with. It's perfect for serving all summer long. The first thing we want to do is remove the husk and silk from 4 large ears of corn. Then we cut off the kernels with a chef's knife or a corn stripper, like I have here. This goes into a blender along with a drained can of cannellini beans, a cut up yellow pepper, a bit of sweet onion, a little sugar, salt and pepper, a splash of lime juice, and to give this its creaminess, some milk. The top goes on and we blend this until it's silky smooth, which takes no time at all. After this chills for a bit, pour it into bowls and maybe top each serving with a dollop of sour cream and cilantro before grabbing a spoon. A few crackers on the side and you'll be ready to enjoy. To get the recipe for our summer's best chilled corn soup, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a super refreshing way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Kelly loves her soup. I knew it.
All right, Greg is back with one final look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to look at cool conditions here. 70 today, probably upper 60s tomorrow. Notice that we could get into the upper 30s come Friday morning, something to be a care about. Beautiful weekend, unfortunately dry with some 90s coming next week. There's overnight lows tonight. Cloud cover will keep the temperatures in the 40s, and then we're looking at upper 60s near 70 for tomorrow, basically around where we should be. And then it does get warmer next week with 90s coming. Unfortunately, there's no rain in the forecast really through Wednesday.
That is not great news for farmers.
No, it's not.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.